He's the daddy, Nicky Slater.
He's always on hand to deliver the mother of all insults, Jason Gardner.
The new baby everyone likes to fuss over, Emma Bunton.
And head of the family, our favourite cousins, European and Olympic ice champion, Robin Cousins. Good evening, judges. Lovely to see you all. So, Robin, the pear spiral, what is it we need to be looking out for?
Well, as Tony says, it's about getting the leg and the foot higher than the hip, but also it's about the line. Jason's going to be looking for that. A nice straight leg, turned out hip, turned out foot, and to be pretty.
And to stay up.
And to stay standing up. Well, that will help, yeah.
OK, thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen. Our ice panel. Not very popular scores with the audience here, Robin.
Sadly, I actually was more comfortable watching you last week, and I've written 3 things down: scary, laboured, and uncomfortable, and that's how you made me feel watching it. I'm sorry. It just doesn't look natural for you to be out there, and I know Emma kept... and it's not a comfortable feeling to watch, especially when I know what could potentially go wrong. I think you did really well to save yourself.
Thank you. Emma, what did you think performance-wise? Was there anything better
I
there?
literally couldn't breathe through the whole dance, and when you lifted her, I felt physically sick. I was so nervous for you both, and I just think, you know, I didn't enjoy it, and I'm so glad you were smiling, because I wasn't. I'm sorry.
Karen, you've been working with Dr. Hillary all week. He has had a tough time.
You know, it's not easy. We work on flexibility. It doesn't come natural to you. There was improvement from last week, but the elements that you've done this week are harder. But, you know, my heart was in my mouth. I have to say I was glad when the music ended, but, you know, felt credit for the improvement that you've made.
Thank you, judges. Thank you.
If you were better than Holly.
Yeah, Jason, to me it was like watching a different girl out on the ring tonight, and yet those scores weren't quite as high as I expected them to be.
OK, from my point of view, you know, you have a very pretty face, absolutely, but your leg lines are that of a 90-year-old. You know what I mean? You have to watch what your leg is doing, especially in the required element, which was the spiral. It was not good, my darling, at all. You have a very stiff neck, and there is absolutely no release in your upper body. You have to start getting movement in the upper body and also in the neck.
Emma, you look like you disagree with that.
I disagree with the upper body. I think I can see that you've been really trying, and you're definitely better than last time you danced. Do you know, the one thing I want to see, I want to say you take a bit more risk. You know, you're still young. Take some risks. But I thought your upper body was much better this week. I could see you leaning on Fred. You really connected with each other. I thought it was much better.
Robin, you weren't sure about the leg line either, were you?
No, but I have to say, compared to the rehearsal, this was a completely different person. And I have to say, I agree a bit with both of them. For me, I can still see the effort in what you're trying to do, but the fact that you have that effort is great. I would just ask for a bit more pliability in your body, and just let it loosen up a little bit. It does tend to be a bit stiff.
OK, thank you, judges. Thank you.
Thank you.
A challenge for Tana this week. Same scores as last week, though, Jason.
Yeah, you know, Tana, for me, you know, you have the sensuality of a frigid schoolmistress. I'm really sorry, but the look on your face, you know, it's like you've sucked lemons. You know, there was nothing in it that showed me that you were actually conveying anything in this number. You're physically expressionless to me. You really need to work on expressing the entire movements with your entire body.
OK, Emma?
I could see you physically shaking. I know how nervous you are, but I didn't believe the story between you at all. Really? And I know you can be sexy, Tana, so you need to loosen up a bit, OK? But definitely better. You was better than last time, so that's what I am judging on.
Karen, this wasn't an easy week for Tana. I thought she was great tonight.
It wasn't an easy week. It was a massive challenge. You're well out of your comfort zone. But, you know, if you've no performing background, if you've nothing to relate back to, this is a big ask. I mean, if you ask most people, could they do that? And they couldn't. So I think you did really well.
Thank you, judges. Thank you.
Is there anything?
Yeah, Emma, let's come to you first of all, performance-wise.
Well, I just think you look really, really confident, which is great. I love the way you can see you totally trust your partner. It's brilliant. All I need from you now is I want you to relax your face and your shoulders a little bit more and just feel it and enjoy it, because you just said you love it, and I want to see that a little bit more on the ice.
OK. Was there any improvement on the arms this week? Because you were quite critical of that last week.
Absolutely.
Good.
It worked. You know, there was a lot more fluidity, there was a lot more breath in them. The thing is, you know, sometimes you're hit and miss. You will have a nice arm movement and then you'll have a really ugly arm movement. What we want to try and do now is sustain the arm movements and also lock in your core, because you look like you've got a very solid body. I mean, it's impressive. Great legs and everything.
Jason.
But you just need to make sure that you lock it in the right places so that you don't wobble.
Quite clever though, because the arm was round the shoulder quite a lot. I found it was quite clever, kind of, yeah.
It was masked,
It was
very well
masked.
masked, but you
Okay.
are improving, and that's why
Which is the important
our
thing.
marks are reflecting.
Thank you, judges.
Welcome back to Dancing on Ice. We've had a fantastic night so far, and there are 3 more performances still to come. Next up, and he's feeling the need for speed, it's Jeremy Sheffield. All right.
Mikey and Gary joined us second place. He was great.
You know, he's such a treat to work with, but we did lose you around Wednesday. I wasn't sure whether you were going to come back, but you know, everything is there in place for you. We just got to get it consistent, and you're going to be in our final group. You're really, really capable.
Thank you.
Thank you. Nikki?
Yes, for me, it's very close to being on level with Gary, but it was just a little stuttery in places. But your smile lights up a room, and of everybody that skated tonight, as the gentleman, you've really skated with your lady and presented her beautifully. Well done.
Thank you.
Emma, final word from you.
You're such a strong partner. Do you know what? You make me feel part of your dance. It's gorgeous. You give me goosebumps, and I just hope that the luck of the Irish is with you tonight.
Thank you.
Thank you, judges. Emma, such a beautiful performance.
So gorgeous, so fluid. Your lifts are gorgeous. I just, you know, I enjoy watching you, and I think that's really important. I love the fact that you are pushing yourself, and I think that's really brave. Well done.
Robin, you agreed with Emma there. She is
Absolutely
pushing
agree with
herself.
Emma. And I think what also happens is when everybody has slow music, they think, oh, they've got so much more time and it's so easy. You are so exposed technically because everything has to take longer. The edges have to be longer. So I started out at a 4, and then there were a few little moments where it just got a little tense, a bit tight. But I think, you know, everybody tonight that's had the slow numbers has really had to cope with really pushing themselves technically. I think you've done a really nice job tonight.
Thank you, Robin. Thanks, judges.
Judges, I'm going to ask you one by one to give me the name of the skating star you want to save and see perform again next week. Karen.
I'm going to save Sharon.
Nikki.
Both routines were better, one was stronger. I can't mark on potential, although I would like to. So I save Sharon.
2 votes for Sharon. Jason.
One of you was marginally improved. The other one, unfortunately, is getting worse. Therefore, I save Sharon.
There's your result. Let's hear from Emma.
Definitely seen more improvement from Sharon.
And Robin.
The Olympian rises to the occasion. I save Sharon.
It's a clean sweep. Sharon sweeps the board and skates again next week.
Talking of highlights, after the news we've got all the FA Cup action from earlier today. It's at 10:30.